In the past few months, I've had a ton of different security cameras on the channel, and the common theme has been bigger, more features, and of course, more expensive. This camera is the exact opposite of all of that, and it's kind of refreshing, but does it actually work? We're gonna get to the bottom of it in this video. This is the Reolink Argus MingiCam, and this is a very simple camera that comes in at a very reasonable price of under $50. And it's actually kind of reminiscent of some of the early cameras that I had on this channel, basic magnet mount cameras, but it can do a bunch of other kind of cool things. We're gonna run it through all of its paces though and see how well it does all those things in this video. So if you're new around here, this is how we do our videos. First, I'm gonna really quick go over the features of this and kind of know what we're talking about. Then we're gonna get it set up. Then we're going to run it through all its paces, and at the end of the video I'm going to go over all the pros and cons and my findings so I can tell you how well the camera worked, and you can decide if this is something you want to spend your money on. Now I will have time links down below, so if you don't want to watch portions of it, you just want to shoot to the end, you can go all the way to the end and just watch that part. So first, let me kind of tell you what this thing is. And if you like these kind of videos where I'm going to give an honest review with real pros and cons and not just try to sell you a product to make a quick buck, hit that subscribe button. It really does help out the channel and let you know when we put out more stuff. Let's get into it. Early on in the channel, actually my first security camera on the channel was a very simple little white box magnet mount camera that you could kind of stick anywhere. And this is kind of reminding me of that, but updated. It has a magnet in the back of it, and you can stick this to any magnetic surface. Now the other cool thing is it does come with those little steel magnet circles, I guess they're not magnets, that you can stick on things that aren't otherwise magnetic. In addition to all that, comes with this handy little stand. Kind of reminds you of a cell phone stand. You can magnet the camera in and point the camera at whatever you need to point it at. This camera records your footage locally on an SD card, and it's powered by, get this, 2 AA batteries. Now it comes with them, and they are lithium batteries, and they are USB rechargeable, but that means if your little lithium batteries die, you can stick any old AA's in there and this thing will work. Reolink claims these batteries will last up to 9 months, and although I haven't had this thing for 9 months, I will say that I have had it running for a couple weeks now, and it is sipping batteries. I haven't seen any reduction in battery on this thing, so I would believe that 9 months. If you don't want to run off the batteries, you can just pop the side cover open and run on USB, but I think that's kind of not the point of this camera. It's supposed to function like basically any other security camera. It can sense motion, you can do human detection, pet detection, auto detection, things like that, and it sends alerts to your phone. It does have one little party trick though that we're going to get to a little later on in the video. Now one thing you'll notice this thing is lacking is a light, and it does actually have a light on it, but it's an infrared LED. It doesn't have your traditional white light, and I'm guessing that's because of 1, cost, 2, size and packaging, and 3, power consumption of these little batteries. But right now, let's get this thing set up. And we're going to speed through the setup process because it's pretty simple, and we've done this on the channel a bunch with other Reolink cameras. You're going to first start by downloading the Reolink app and setting up a Reolink account. Then you press the little plus button up in the top of the app once you've got it all loaded up, and you follow the step-by-step instructions. You insert the SD card, you insert the batteries, you scan a little QR code, and then you get the camera set up. And from here, there's a couple settings you're going to want to tweak to make sure you get those notifications on your phone. So now that the camera is paired up with the app, there's a couple settings you're going to want to set up in there to make sure you're getting notifications on your phone, and that's recording what you want to record. So you're going to go in there and tap the little gear icon, and that's going to bring up all of your settings. The first thing you want to do is come down here to the PIR motion sensor and make sure that's turned on, and you can set the detection sensitivity. I have it at 80. Let's crank that thing all the way up to 100, and you can also have it reduce false alarms. I have that turned off because I haven't really been getting any. Now we come down to the next category, which is detection alarm, and here you can set your detection settings, your object size, and one thing I've noticed here is with the object size, with person detection, you want to tweak that size to small if you want to detect people coming from far away. Otherwise, it doesn't see them. But that's something that you need to make up your decision, how you have the thing set up. So you set that up for people, vehicles, animals, etc. And then you want to come down to camera recording and just make sure that's clicked to on. By default, that should be on. Then we're going to come down to push notifications, and oftentimes on the Reolink cameras it has push notifications turned off. If it's turned off, you're not going to get the notification on your phone. So you want to make sure you turn on that notification, and you can kind of set it up how you want. Now, here's something that everybody misses and confused me for the longest time with Reolink cameras. You do all this, you think you're going to get notifications. You're not. There's one last thing you have to do. You have to come down here to schedule and click schedule, and then you have to decide when you want it to be detecting things and sending you notifications. So if you want it to do it all the time, you just highlight the whole thing like that. And then you come into detection types up here, and you want to select the things you want it to detect and alert you about. So if you're watching something and you only care if your cat is coming through the cat door and you don't want it detecting people, you can set it up that way. So now with all that set up, you can go stick your camera up outside. And this is where I had kind of fun with this thing, sticking it up all over the yard. Okay, so now we're in the testing phase of this camera, and the first test we're going to perform is the same test I always perform with all these cameras, and that is how long does it take for the camera to pick me up and get a notification to my phone. So we're going to walk in front of the camera right now, and we're going to start the stopwatch. Forgive the background noise. We're walking right in front of my koi ponds. We're going to get the zone now, and I've got my timer up. And right there. So it was right around 11 seconds. We've got that notification coming in. That's a little bit longer than some of the other cameras we played around with, but it's shorter than others. So it's about middle, maybe a little bit long. Now we are going to repeat the same test at night so we can see if any of those detections changes during the night, and also let us see how well this camera performs in the dark, because this camera doesn't have an onboard light, just the IR LEDs. All right, it is pretty darn dark in my backyard. I have all my lights turned off outside and inside. I want to try this as dark as I can get it first, and then we're gonna turn on some landscape lights. So I got my phone up here. We're walking into the zone now. I saw the little light turn on. I can see a little kind of tiny red light. And there's our notification, right around 11 seconds. So pretty much the same as what we were seeing before, but you can't see me, so let's get some lights on. Now here's that neat trick I was talking about earlier in the video. You can magnet this thing up somewhere and set it up to take a time lapse. It'll take a frame every 10 seconds, and then you can download your cool time lapse video later. This was just a really quick, easy shot I did, magneting it to my garage door and filming the sunset in front of my house. And then I just played around with it. I stuck it to my mailbox and got some video of the walkway up to the front of my house. In the backyard while I was cleaning up the pool. And then I had the idea that you could take this thing and put it in your car and use it as a security camera inside your car. And it didn't really work the way I had hoped, and I'm going to tell you why when I get to the pros and cons section at the end of the video, so stick around. In my testing, things went really well with human detection and auto detection, but I realized I hadn't done anything with pet detection. But guess what? I just got kittens. And something that's pretty important with new pets is making sure they're eating and drinking. So I stuck this thing next to the food bowls and set up pet detection, and it did a great job picking up the cats. The cats also were really curious about the camera. So now we've hit that point in the video where we have gone over its features, we've set the thing up, then we ran it through all its paces. Now it's time to go over all the pros and cons so you can make that informed decision whether this is something you want to spend your hard-earned money on. The first thing is the use case for this camera, and realizing this camera is not necessarily a true security camera. It's not bolted to the wall, it's not theft-proof, but you can use it to monitor things around your house, and I think that's really neat. We just adopted kittens, and the idea of sticking a camera somewhere in the house so I can just keep an eye on them when I'm gone is great. And having it battery operated so I can stick it wherever I need it is also great. If I'm concerned if they're eating or they're getting their food or whatnot, I can put it next to their food bowl, and I can get a pet detection to let me know every time they go and grab food. I also do a lot of 3D printing, and I like to keep an eye on my printers, and having an inexpensive camera I can just stick next to my 3D printer, log into, not have to run wires, and not have to worry about how close the nearest outlet is. That's also a very handy thing. I actually the other day had an issue with my koi pond in the backyard, and I had to slow fill the pond, and I wanted to keep a really close eye on the water inlet, and I just tossed this thing right next to it, kept an eye on it. I logged in it a couple times while I was running errands around town just to make sure nothing went wrong. It's just good for things that you kind of need to temporarily monitor, and you need to have a small camera you can kind of park somewhere, and that little magnet mount's kind of neat because you can kind of stick it wherever you need it, and if you need it at an angle, you can pop it on the little the little base here. What is worth noting is you can also get, and I have them in my drawer here, the little sticky guys that you can put on the back of your phones. You can buy those in bulk, kind of stick them anywhere. So I do have those all over my house from previous cameras, so now I can take this thing and just kind of stick it anywhere. I'm sure at some point soon the internet will do its thing and there will be kind of more security cases you can use on this thing to attach it to objects and screw it down if you really needed to. And it goes without saying, this thing is small enough that you can toss it in a drawer, throw it in a backpack, stick it in your pocket, and kind of use it whenever and wherever you need it. For a camera that doesn't have a light and also doesn't have a very big IR LED, it actually did a very good job illuminating my backyard at night with very low light. I was surprised. I thought that would be kind of the falling off point of this thing is its night vision, and it actually did very well. Audio going back and forth did very well.
This is what my voice sounds like talking through my phone and coming out of the camera.
And the Wi-Fi antenna in this thing does seem to be pretty decent. It actually seems to connect to my Wi-Fi better and further away than my phone does. I can't stand cameras with fees, things where you gotta pay cloud fees and whatnot, and things where you're tied to stuff like this. This thing stores all of your footage on an SD card in the camera, so that means a couple of things. That means one, this thing doesn't have your stuff off site, but it also means that if you set this in a location where there isn't Wi-Fi, it's not relying on pinging out to the cloud to store your stuff, so you can put this thing somewhere that you wouldn't have Wi-Fi, have it record everything, and then bring it back and pull your footage off of it once the thing is reconnected to Wi-Fi. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later though. And I think this is actually the first security camera I've used and had on the channel so far that has standard like AA batteries. I have had some that have removable batteries, but they are proprietary USB-C charging batteries. The first ones I've had that have regular, you can buy them in the grocery store type batteries. Now, one really neat feature with this thing is you can still set it up to do continuous recording instead of the little clips it does on the battery if you power this thing over USB. And that's just a matter of plugging in constant USB power to it, going into the app, and activating that setting. So it's pretty simple, but you can set this thing up to do kind of 24/7 loop record if you need to do that as well. The resolution was very good and clear, both in daytime and nighttime, and the lens on this thing is a pretty wide angle lens. So even though it doesn't have like a pan and tilt lens, you can stick this on a flat surface and get a pretty good wide angle of what's going on around you. So we've talked about the pros, now let's talk about the cons. And I call this section a cons section, but it isn't always necessarily cons. It's just knowing what the camera is and is not able to do, so you don't buy something thinking it can do something and it can't, and some of the quirks and whatnot over with the camera. The first thing I ran into is I thought this thing would be really cool to put inside a truck, my truck, and use it as kind of a security camera in there. I do have a dash camera, but I wanted to see how well it would work. And the problem is it doesn't. It'll catch things inside the car, but it won't catch things outside the car. And the reason for that is the motion sensor it uses is a PIR motion sensor, and PIR motion sensors won't pick up motion through glass. So although this thing will record anything happening inside the car, it won't pick up new motion outside the car. If you're looking for a camera with a white light, either for the purpose of seeing what you're doing or alerting the bad guys that you're filming them, this one does not have a white light on it. And like I said before, I think it comes down to a couple things, but I think it primarily is packaging and also battery life. Having a white light on there is going to cook the batteries pretty fast. Now, one thing I did come across with this camera is that there isn't a way to turn the camera off from the app. So there is no way to activate like a privacy mode the way some other cameras are. The way you have to turn this thing off is by flipping it over, popping the back of it open, and holding down that button until it beeps. That'll turn the camera off, and then you have to turn it back on. I like cameras where the ability to either turn the camera off or turn on like a privacy mode is available in the app. I did reach out to Reolink about that, and they said it is something that is in the works, so hopefully by the time this video comes out, that'll be fixed. One of the things that would be really neat with this camera that they could probably do with the software is to do with the Wi-Fi. Now with this thing, I thought this would be great because I could magnet this thing on the side of my trailer when I go camping and use it as a security camera. And you can do that, except you can't get into the camera if it's not attached to your home's Wi-Fi. That means I can't go into the camera and set the different motion settings. I can't set up the little zones I don't want it to detect, and I also can't pull footage off of it until I get this camera back home and attach it to the Wi-Fi. It would be very cool if this camera could connect to my phone directly through the Wi-Fi, like say if you have a GoPro, they can do that, because then you could take this thing off-grid away from your house and do all that, take it camping even with you, and then when you get back you can pull the footage without having to reconnect it to your home network. So I don't know if that's possible, but again, Reolink, be sweet if you could do it. And part of that's also that time lapse. I'm camping, I want to get a sunset time lapse. There's no way for me to set it up in here without connecting this thing to my Wi-Fi right now. Now, as I was sitting here editing, I had an idea and I wanted to try it out. I connected to the camera via my phone's hotspot, and it works. So you can actually set the camera up to connect to your phone's hotspot if you have that set up, and then you can get into it even if you're not on your home Wi-Fi. Just know you'll either have to set it up as a second network before you leave your primary network, or you'll have to kind of redo the setup, but it does work. Now for me personally, I think this is a neat little camera, and I think it's well worth the price of 50 bucks. And I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this thing, monitoring stuff around my house and taking it outside. But only you can make the decision whether this is the right camera for you. So I'd like to know down in the comments, what do you think of this camera? Do you think you've got a cool use case for this thing? And also, if you think I missed anything, be sure to leave me a comment down below as well, because I'm happy to answer your questions. I want to make sure that you're making an informed decision when you go buy something like this. Now, if you have any questions about this camera, or if there's anything you think I missed, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'm always happy to answer those questions. I just want to make sure that you have all the info you need before you make a purchasing decision on something like this. Now, if you enjoy these kind of videos, honest review videos that are not an advertisement, where I actually test things out, I actually give pros and cons, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help out the channel, and I'll let you know when we put out other kind of content. And because I think we are required to appease the YouTube gods, we have to say, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And of course, thanks for watching.